Picture this, it's 2 a.m. and you're just checking Seller Central before you go to bed when an email pops into your inbox talking about how Amazon was now going to be delivering a broader range of Nike products. Then it delivered the blow. July the 19th. Amazon and only Amazon are now going to be allowed to source and sell certain Nike products. Third-party sellers who have probably been selling these products for years are no longer allowed to sell those ASINs, and they must sell through their existing products or get them removed before that date. The message includes a list of ASINs that Amazon sellers are currently selling, and obviously need to get shifted, but this message has changed the game for many Amazon sellers. Quickly, the forums have blown up. One post, which was made just a month ago, has got over 2,000 views and 60 plus replies. It's just talking about how much of a problem this brand has been for Amazon sellers. One veteran Amazon seller posted, I bought 100 units to get ungated and then got denied within just 3 seconds. Another person talked about how they spent their entire life savings are tied up in Nike, and this is now killing their business. The central lesson, the marketplace of Amazon, the rules don't shift gradually, they swing like a guillotine. And if your revenue leans in just one brand, such as Nike, then you are just one policy away from getting a catastrophe. Let's actually talk into the data and show you how much this is going to affect sellers, or maybe not as much as we might think. Okay, so I want to jump onto Keeper right now, and particularly if you don't understand, Keeper basically tells you all information around Amazon. They scrape the data and they're a really good source of information. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is Keeper Product Finder, and specifically, I want to understand how many total listings are from the brand Nike. So we're going to scroll right down really quickly. So scroll down to here, and I'm just going to type in the word Nike. Straight away on Amazon, just for the brand name Nike, there are 1.2, nearly 1.3 million products where Nike is the brand. Now, the one thing we also want to kind of understand is how many is Amazon currently selling. So I'm going to be looking at 90 days out of stock percentage, and I'm going to be looking at Amazon. So I can type in 100 and obviously to 100. So Amazon completely out of stock. And what we can see is Amazon have not been in stock at any point for 1.27 million products. That's a lot of products that Amazon just simply does not stock. Now, if I scroll back up again and I want to say Amazon have been in stock. So we're basically just going to put in here, like they have a price. So we can get a kind of idea over 90 days. How many products has Amazon ever been in stock in over the last 180 days at any price? Well, about 3,000 products. So while Amazon is currently selling some Nike products, it's only about 3,000 of about 1.3 million products, which is incredible. While people have got a list, what we are saying is that they're not currently selling that many. They are going to be selling more, but the market is huge for Nike. And remember, the message said it wasn't about all Nike products. It was some selected Nike products. Now, which Nike products? Most likely the ones that are going to be selling very high volumes. Anything where it's like probably in the thousands, if not tens of thousands of units per month, which we can see on the Amazon marketplace are selling really well. You might be asking the question, what gives? Well, quite simply, Amazon plans to buy directly from Nike and claim the high velocity winners. We kind of talked about that. We showed you that they're not selling that many at the moment, but they're going to be doing more. So for example, anything that's shifting thousands, tens of thousands of units per month is going to be the likely products that are going to be affected. So just be mindful of that. But this does still leave over 1 million slower moving products or variations that you can still sell and probably ungated on or get ungated on. So just be mindful of that. Top tip I will say to anyone right now, go wide, don't buy too deep. So go wide, buy a couple of units per ASIN. And this way, if Amazon comes in and takes over, you're not really going to be affected too much. What you don't want to be doing is buying pallets that you're going to need to take months to shift. That's going to be a really bad thing to do. The new game is going to be nimble within Amazon, replenishing. It's not going to be that pallet base. So just understand that. That's really important. So let's talk about those items where you need to get them sold quickly because you've got a deadline that Amazon told you need to be done. So what are the options that you can do? Well, the first one that we've always done many times is discount. Get the product shifting, i.e. reduce the price, just get the stock sold. The hassle of having to get the products unstranded and then returned to you and probably not going to be be the right product or damaged. It's probably just going to cause so many issues. So just get the product sold right now on Amazon. It's going to make your life so much easier. This is the one we generally do. You're probably going to see price crashing, and the sooner you get involved, the quicker you can do it. Top tip for you, look at the listing sales per month. Look at how much stock is on the listing, particularly FBA. If you can do the calculation until the 19th of July or that date, then the idea is that you're going to understand if the current stock in the listing is going to sell out by that date. You don't need to get too aggressive, or if it won't, you probably want to get really aggressive quickly because that listing is going to crash. Now, on top of that, also think about other channels. Not only within Amazon FBA, you can do multi-channel fulfillment, but also you can do FBM, fulfillment by merchant, and you can sell on eBay, StockX, Facebook Marketplace, even Walmart, for example. These are places you can shift extra stock. Now, obviously, you can sell it directly through third-party fulfillment, or you can do it through removal order and then shipping out. But again, we've seen many times that causes damage, so we don't do it. Also, if you are at the very deadline, FBA liquidations, there are thousands of liquidations companies that you can do, ship to, you're not going to be getting much money. It's a last attempt, but you can possibly do it. Every choice is not going to be ideal, but the question I always ask is, I just need to get my money back and move on to something which is now going to make me money. It's worked for a long period of time. Going forward, I now need to change. So understand that. Now, just remember, within this business model that we're doing reselling, cash flow is survival. And if you are having to clear out a product, getting that product cleared out now while you still can is far more important than having a lot of capital tied up in a product you cannot sell. So surrendering some of that margin right now, instead of carrying dead stock, is literally a no-brainer. And in my idea, that's the way I think about it. Okay, so we talked about what you can do, but now the question is why? What is going on? And also, what does this mean for Nike in the bigger picture to help you understand what's going on? Now, flashback to 2019, Nike actually quit selling on Amazon, and they went after a direct consumer model that they were looking for. They had flagships, they dropped exclusives, but fast forward to 2024, that direct to consumer model, their growth has stalled. Inventory is swelling in their warehouses, and Nike announces $2 billion of cost cutting. That's with a B for billion, and it signs fresh wholesale deals with the likes of Macy's, DSW, and even Foot Locker. And obviously now we're seeing even with Amazon. Now, also in addition to this, the leadership changed as well, who promises a back to sport, back to wholesale revival. And they say re-embracing Amazon. So this was talked about on LinkedIn, by the way, and under one condition, total channel control. They're entering Amazon through the vendor deals, bulk sourcing, and clearing out third-party sellers on that listing. Before they used to sell, now they're going to be the only seller. And it looks like they're only going to be the only seller on those listings, not for the whole brand. What's the lesson for you guys to understand? When big brands have problems, they restructure the way they do things. So keep an eye on the brands that you're selling, watch out for news, and they may redistribute their products in a different way, come after different channels in a different way. And so therefore, this is potentially going to affect your business. So watch for leadership changes, business policy changes, connect the dots before going forward. What does this mean for a roadmap for resilient sellers? This ban has hurt people, and it's going to hurt a lot of people's businesses. I know sellers, I even know gurus on YouTube who sell nothing but Nike. And this is going to have a big impact upon them because they're selling some of these big ASINs, which are selling a lot of units. But you've got to look into what's happened and how this story developed. And obviously we could see it coming. First of all, we've seen it. I've shown you in the forums, lots of people complained about the brand getting gated. We've seen it many times with Nike. Many sellers kicked off the brand being gated. Also, though, Amazon increased the requirements. Amazon saw this brand as a brand that was causing problems. They went from like 10 units to 50 to now 100 units to get ungated in Amazon. This shows you this brand is something you've got to be careful with. Also, the brand itself is having problems. We're seeing lots and lots of, Amazon are still on the listing, so they're still buying. We've got to be mindful of that. But now what we've seen is now this is starting to change, and it's only going to continue going this way. It's probably going to be more likely that Nike starts doing a lot more directly with Amazon. A lot of those bigger listings will get kicked off, and you won't be able to sell it. So, top tip for you, what do you need to understand? Understand what's going on with the brands. Don't focus purely on one brand. That's too much risk in any one brand. And try and detect the early signals. For you, always be seeing what's going on with the brands that you're selling, and it's just going to make sure that you're understanding what's happening in the general marketplace overall, which is likely to affect your selling ability on Amazon. I'd also add to this, just make sure you're managing your inventory. Cash flow is key, turning stock, going wide, not deep. Very hard in wholesale, but just be mindful of that. Now, the one thing I'll add to this is Amazon's crackdown on Nike listings is going to cause a lot of problems for a lot of people, but it doesn't have to be at the end of the day. Finding new suppliers is one of the most important things you can do. And that's why I want to share with you around here my top 10 methods for finding wholesalers right now that you can watch. But do check them all out because we use them all together. But hey, if you like this video, hit thumbs up, and hey, hit subscribe if you want to see more like this.